and welcome to News 9 Digital. I'm Ashish Parekh. From gadget launches to cars, bikes and everything else from the world of tech, here are the top 9 stories from the world of technology. First up, two new mobiles have been launched in the Indian market. The first one is by Nokia called the Nokia 5310. Now this basically is the repackaged version of Nokia Express Music 5310 which was launched in 2007. The latest version has dual SIM and 22 days of battery life. Of course, you can't expect it from any other mobile, but having said that, this only has 8 MB of RAM and 16 MB of storage. So not sure how many people would really fancy that, but this is the specification of this phone, and also this is being launched at a price of 3,399. So if you're looking for a phone for a rough use, or if you just want a Nokia handset in your hands, well, Nokia 5310 is all set to be yours from June 23rd. Motorola's One Fusion Plus has finally been launched in the Indian market. Now this was a phone that was really hyped by Motorola over the past few days, and now finally it has been launched at a price of 16,999. Now this again comes into the budget category, and the specifications also are pretty much the same. You got a 6GB and a 128GB combination wherein you get the 6GB RAM and 128GB onboard storage. That's a single variant of this phone that is available in the market right now. It remains to be seen whether Motorola comes up with other variants. That again depends on the kind of demand that this phone has. Also, this comes with a Snapdragon 730G processor. This particular one is a gaming processor. This features a 64MP quad camera on the rear side and a 16MP shooter in the front. So again, nothing special as far as the camera is concerned. Again, the same category, the budget category that we're looking at. Also, this comes with a battery of 5000 mAh, which is again a positive, because a lot of phones in this segment come under the battery that they carry are around 4000 to 4500 mAh. So this is one positive of this phone. Oppo is all set to start making its own processors. Now this comes after the company had announced its plans to make sure that it goes ahead into the future with self-reliance, and also making sure that it does not really have to depend on third party for any parts that it manufactures, or it gets all of those parts to make its device from. They are currently using chipsets from Qualcomm, MediaTek and also Snapdragon, but in the future they will be making sure that they create their own chipsets. Now this process obviously is going to be expensive compared to getting it from a third party, but clearly Oppo wants to make sure that it is self-reliant and is very much willing to pay the price for it as well. Speaking about the companies that are making its own processors, you have Samsung that is making the Exynos processor. It is leading the game as of now as far as smartphones are concerned. Also you get Huawei, which is making a high silicon Kirin chipset, which again is not really widely used, but it's enough for the company to make sure that it has its own name as far as making chipsets is concerned. Even Xiaomi in fact had tried making a chipset called the Surge S1. Unfortunately, it was only limited to one single device that was in China. After that, they again had to go back to Qualcomm, Snapdragon and all of these companies. Acer has launched its Veriton N series, and this basically will be a budget-friendly series, and it is in fact going to be so compact and so small that it can easily be mounted behind the monitor. So they've really tried to make sure that they provide a compact computer, a compact system at the workplace, and people can really use it without having to go ahead with all of those heavy duty specifications that you need for a gaming PC. Now this will be coming at a price of 9,999, and it will be a dual core processor and 4GB RAM. So as far as specifications are concerned, you don't really get anything extra, but at the same time, if you want a system for your workplace to make sure that your basic tasks are performed, this could be a good option to go ahead with. JBL has launched its Quantum series of headphones, which again will have 7 headphones in the entire series, and the price will be ranging from 2,499 until 22,999. Now they've tried to make sure that they include all combination of specifications to make sure that it caters to the need of different gamers. You got heavy duty gamers as well. Also you got gamers who do not really need these kind of headphones, but at the same time they do want a good experience while playing the games. So JBL has really tried to make sure that they cater to all of their needs. Now the headphones, the 7 headphones that have been launched in this series are Quantum 100, Quantum 200, Quantum 300, 400, 600, 800 and the Quantum 1. But the focus again comes back to Quantum 800 and Quantum 1, which are going to be featuring active noise cancellation and are specifically designed for heavy duty gamers. WhatsApp has launched its payment system in Brazil. Now, this comes after the company had tested all of its payment systems in India in 2018, and now they have rolled out this feature in Brazil alone. Now, Brazil is their second biggest market with 120 million users right after India. India still remains its biggest market, but they have decided to go ahead with this payment system in Brazil itself. Now, this basically is an in-chat payment system wherein you can pay a particular person or a business within WhatsApp itself. You do not really have to go outside the app, and this will also incorporate Facebook Pay as well. So the app will make sure that you do not really have to rely on any other sort of encryption, and everything is inbuilt in the app. This has been rolled out in Brazil, like I've been saying, in India as well. This might be coming soon. No particular date has been announced, but a few countries have been shortlisted. Whether India is a part of this remains to be seen, but WhatsApp clearly is making sure that it rolls out all of these features within this year itself. Meanwhile, thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, the average monthly usage of the internet in India has shot up 30% to 11 GB per user. Now, this this surge in internet usage has come amid the COVID-19 pandemic, and this has been reported by Ernst & Young, which also has said that 38% of the responders used digital payment platforms for the first time during the lockdown. In what comes as a massive headache for South Africa's Postbank, which is the banking division of the South African Post Office, they will now have to replace 12 million customer cards from their banks because of a fraudulent activity by their employees. Apparently, their employees cracked into the master key, they hacked into it and made sure that they carried out 25,000 fraudulent transactions, and this resulted in a loss of $3.2 million for the bank, and now they'll have to reset the entire master key. And basically, this master key is a 36-digit code which actually decrypts the bank's operations and also helps in generating customer cards. So this was something that the employees broke into and carried out 25,000 transactions and cheated the bank of $3.2 million. The USA has gone ahead and amended its law, making sure that Huawei will now be able to work with US companies for the development of 5G technology. Earlier, this company was banned and they had placed it in the entity list, which still remains. But having said that, US has said that they do not want to backtrack on leading the development of technology around the world, and they are henceforth making sure that Huawei will be allowed, but also a close eye will be kept on the Chinese manufacturer. Earlier, even the UK, New Zealand, Canada, Australia too had issued some sort of restrictions for Huawei because of the fact that the Chinese manufacturer was accused of spying on behalf of China using its technology and under the garb of developing 5G technology. Well, we are all tired of slow internet, but now SpaceX has opened its doors to its Starlink low Earth orbit internet service. So this basically will have a constellation of satellites up in the orbit. There are about 540 Starlink satellites up there. Now, the last launch was on June 13, where SpaceX launched 58 satellites. So they are trying to create an entire constellation, an entire consortium of satellites where they will be providing you with fast internet, high-speed internet, and almost at the same cost as you get as of now. But also at the same time, they'll make sure that this will be much faster than the internet that you're using as of now. Currently, they are going to offer testing for beta users. So in case you are interested, you can also sign up and make sure that you enjoy this internet service by SpaceX, and also give them a rating so that they can develop the technology further. With that, it's a wrap on our countdown of the top 9 stories from the world of technology. Which one excited you the most? Make sure you comment in the comment section below, and also do not forget to like, share and subscribe to News9.